If you've been around in the early 1980s, you know this game. M.U.L.E was a very popular 4-player game, originally on Atari 8-bit, and later released for the Commodore 64, and even on the Nintendo Entertainment System. This old game is just as frustrating as Monopoly when it comes to some people playing. If you hated Monopoly, chances are you hated this game too. But hey, I was a big fan of this thing. The premise of this thing is simple. You go and you colonize someplace, and you've got 3 other competitors where you gotta go and try to get all the resources done, and try to be the top finisher in this game. But did you know that this game actually has a win condition? You need to do a minimum score of $60,000, or you have considered not to have succeeded in building this colony. And that can be a darn problem when your teammates, as such, your fellow colonists, are being silly buggers and they want to really make sure that you pay for your extra food and your extra energy. Especially when the store runs out. You know, because of this, I've always wondered, if you didn't have these other idiots mucking about, how hard would it be to do the job yourself? I mean, what if you just take these 3 other guys, turn them off? Unfortunately, you can't do that in the original 8-bit game. But what if you could? Can you beat M.U.L.E as a single colonist? Well, ever since 2010, we can actually find out. This is Planet M.U.L.E, the only active port that runs on modern Windows systems. You can go to planetmule.com and you can grab it. It includes a self-contained Java virtual machine, so there's no other installs to worry about. And don't worry, that Java install doesn't run as in a browser or anything else. So this is pretty self-contained. And because it's in Java, it's also available for Mac OS and Linux, and it is purely netplay, as in there's no multiplayer on a single PC. If you want to play multiplayer at home, just set up a local server and go on your local Wi-Fi. But this game not only has a regular tournament mode, it also has a training mode that lets you pick any number of players or non-players. For instance, you can try to beat M.U.L.E as a single colonist. And there I am. So let's see how hard it actually is. But this particular playthrough was my very first attempt at trying to record this, so I've run into some problems trying to record this. So if you see any flickering on here, sorry about that. I never used NVIDIA Share for this to capture again. This was my very first attempt at trying to get this thing to work. I tend to play a very conservative game of M.U.L.E, which means I start with my food first, my energy second, and then my money makers afterward. And depending on what my teammates are doing, I might try to rip them off like a good little Ferengi. Or I might try to grab this land in a hurry to see if I can get food and energy going at the same time on the first turn. But when you're doing this solo and you got nobody to sell this to, well, the rules are just a little different. When you've got no competition, food and energy tend to be pretty low, so you need to make money producing smith ore and crystite. If you're not familiar with M.U.L.E, smith ore lets you construct more mules, and crystite is a pure cash crop. There we are. This is a typical first round here. But yeah, I wanted to show this playthrough because it demonstrates something really, really, really important about M.U.L.E, is that this game can really hose you in the random number generator department. So sometimes you just need good RNG to beat this game, let alone become first founder, which is the guy with the most points. So this particular first playthrough did not turn out very well, especially with a late space pirate attack, taking all the crystite. And there was another late pirate attack. That's my moneymaker that those guys are taking away. So, really, really bad RNG, not to mention lousy crystite prices near the end of this game. So that when the Federation came back to get me, they were very much less than impressed. Oh dear, yeah, 68 for Christite. I'm not impressed. But I wanted to show this first playthrough just to show that you can lose M.U.L.E. Right? If you're under 40k, forget it, you have lost. Oh boy, have you lost. So yeah. So I tried this again just to show how RNG dependent this is. Right? And I got a better capture system going. At this point, I used the Xbox Live game capture system built into Windows 10. I got much better RNG for the Christite, so I was able to buy land early. Right, and I was growing the colony out, right? Got some pretty lucky Christite rolls here. One thing though, if you do produce more than 50 Christite, you want to sell the excess or it will spoil. And there you go. See, I got a pretty lousy roll there, so all 92 of those I had to sell in a hurry, and I got no return from my investment on that. As a result, I didn't quite do so well, but this Smith-Or price reminded me, maybe I need a better strategy to be able to beat this game. Something to do with doing more than one cash crop as such. But yeah, the Smith-Or price gave me a pretty good idea of what I needed to do. Yep, barely survived, did not quite make 60k, was less than 9k away from it. Oh well, one more try here. I still do my conservative play, but now I have an eye to saving money early. I skipped the first land auction, so the second one, I can get it for half price. And hey, early pirate attacks means that it's one less possible pirate attack for the whole rest of the game. This way I had a better chance of hoarding Christite, and I got lucky here. I could save some time, basically speed running it. There we go, another early Christite. Not a big loss this time, whatever. No more pirate attacks as a result of that. We grow this out. Notice that the store Smith-Or is 0. I am trying to strip them of mules and have less developed land out there so that Smith-Or's going up every turn. Look at that, 136, more than double. It's hovering at about more than double now, the normal price. That's good. If I have more undeveloped plots than I do mules in the store, the price will just keep going up. In fact, right near the end, Smith-Or just skyrockets. I just need to sell them enough Smith-Or so I have a couple mules to finish development. And there we go. Look at that, $460 for a mule, but that's okay. I got all but one plot developed. And by the time these guys come back to get me, Smith-Or has skyrocketed once again, and I got a good lucky roll on Christite. As a result of that, with a bit of luck, a bit of market manipulation, a lot of RNG, and no pirate attacks, you can beat M.U.L.E. as a single colonist. But you don't want to, it's a lot more fun with 4 other people. If you want to see more content like this, let me know. Until then, good day.